The first sign of trouble was the rectangle of gray slush that appeared around Pierce's attaché outside the airport in Utqiagvik, Alaska. He was already in a bad mood. Even non-stop on a newish ultrasonic, the flight from New York had taken over 2 hours. And the walk from his arrival gate to the pickup area had been like an old-fashioned mosh pit. The Betterlates were out in force, chanting and singing like they always did, but now apparently burning incense as well, as if they weren't annoying enough. Or maybe that had always been part of their shtick in Alaska. As extreme weather and rising sea levels had become an everyday reality, so had the Betterlates. They'd been active around the world for decades, apparently, but Pierce had never heard of them until a few years ago, when they changed their focus from stopping climate change to reversing it. Now they advocated ambitious geoengineering schemes, deflecting the sun's heat away from Earth with giant space mirrors, or seeding clouds around the world to make them more reflective, or fertilizing the oceans so they would absorb more carbon. Pierce agreed with the Betterlates' cause, essentially. Let's not kill the planet. But he suspected they'd get more done if they didn't try so hard to irritate people. Sure enough, as Pierce was trying to squeeze past, a pair of oil workers started harassing them. But that probably had more to do with the Betterlates' stance on fossil fuels than the chanting or the incense. Security was there in seconds, blocking off the entire terminal as they beat the hell out of the oil workers and the Betterlates and hauled them all away. The commotion had made Pierce late, and he hated that. But as late as he was, his ride was later, and he hated that even more. The car was supposed to be waiting for him. That was in the contract. His attaché case had been sitting on the ground no longer than a few minutes when Pierce spotted his ride, a massive armored Bentley limo, clean and shiny, and towering over the salt or ice-encrusted cars jockeying around it. Pierce smiled and shook his head. A Bentley. Somebody wanted desperately to be noticed in the crowd. In the decades since the northern shipping lanes had thawed, Utqiagvik had become a bustling hub of commerce and banking. It used to be called Barrow, and decades later some of the old-timers still called it that. Pierce had been here half a dozen times since joining the Couriers Guild, and he'd heard those same old-timers talk about how frigid it used to be up here, how the cold today didn't compare.